Hello again, folks. Eric Pearson here with another demonstration of HARDSPACE SHIPBREAKER. Previously, I've done the smaller macro class ships. Now we're going to go up a notch and try our hands at the heavy cargo variant of the Javelin ship. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so there it is, the Javelin class. Now, as the foreman, Mr. Weaver, has said, the best way to dismantle a Javelin is to do it from the outside in. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's take this antenna and remove it.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Now, there are 3 large antennas on this ship, 1 in the front and 2 in the back. Now, one section, the antenna itself, I can cut off like so. And let's grapple it down. But the amplifier that attaches it to the ship itself, I can't cut with my tools. Instead, I have to use a demolition charge. So I'm going to put that in place right now. Back off a little bit, and here we go. Boom. And now we'll grapple that down. So like I said, from the outside in, so while I'm here, let's get out our laser cutter, cut this loose, grapple this cargo pod, move that down. And let's do the same for these guys right here. And also here. Whoops.
Salvage secured.
A little too sloppy there, gotta be careful. We'll work around to the other side in a moment. Plant another demolition charge here, like so.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Alright, so all we have to do is remove this one cargo pod, and then we'll move on to the next
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
phase here. Alright, this next phase is going to be a little tricky. You see this big red tank? That's a fuel tank. And if we handle this the wrong way, we will trigger an explosion that will destroy a large part of this ship's salvage value.
Secured. Credits deposited.
So first thing I need to do is throw this fuel shutoff valve on the fuel pump. There, that's better. Now if you look closely, there is this tab between the pump and the tank itself. I need to cut this very precisely. If I cut too close to the tank, I'll blow it up. But if I cut too far away, the tab will act as a plug and keep me from removing the tank from the rest of the structure. So, cross your fingers. Okay, very good. Nice clean cut. Now, these 2 bars down here, I need to cut loose in order to give the tank a clear path down to the barge. So let's use our grapple gun. Toss that into the furnace.
Deposit accepted.
Okay, and now we're going to do it again for the same bar on the other side. Cut here and here. Use our grapple and chuck this into the furnace. Okay, the next step is, you'll notice on the back of the tank is this gray disc. I've got to gently pull this away so that the tank will work loose when I use my tether. And if you look carefully, let me show you, there's a little bit of a gap there now between the gray disc and the red tank, so looks like we did this right. So let's do a tether, and this should pull straight down into the barge. Yep, just like that. Bye-bye, see ya, have fun. Don't forget to write. Now I'm going to pull the disc
Salvage deposit accepted.
into this same
Transferred.
hole and bring that downward. That should work. I said that should work. Let's try it a little more. Come on, you can do it. That should work. There we go. Okay, good. Alright, next step, you'll notice that these fuel pipes are connected to the
Salvage
engines.
secured. Account credit applied.
But before I cut those loose, I'm going to cut pipes going to the pump like so. I don't want to get too close to the pump, otherwise I'll trigger an explosion. And then the other pump here, or pipe here, and then again here. And I also want to be careful not to accidentally cut into this compartment here. Okay, so this is sitting loose. We'll attend to that in a moment. Now let's cut the engines loose. So I'm going to make a cut here and here, and also here and here. But we're not done yet because we still have this pipe. So I'm going to cut the pipe right here. Alright, so that's the starboard side lower engine. Now we're going to do the starboard upper. So here we go. Once again, cut these weak points here. Looks like I'm a little stuck here. That's better. And then cut this pipe. Okay, now I should be able to use the grapple and pull these down low with tethers, like so. Yep, there's one. And there's two. Alright, so now we're going to repeat for the other side.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Okay, that's the lower port side engine. Now for the upper engine. And then let's cut this pipe. Alright, once again, activate the grapple and pull these guys down to the barge. Going down, ding. Okay, less than 10 minutes in, and we've already
Salvage deposit accepted.
made some pretty good progress. Alright, so next step is we're going to take these pipes and see if we can get them to the processor. So let me just aim just right. Okay, so that just pulled right away, no sweat. Hopefully we'll be able to do the same here.
Caution. Tether supplies are low.
Okay, that's 2. Alright, let's see if we can go for 3.
Accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Oh, little leakage there. Not too bad, though, thankfully. And then there's pipe number 4. Whoops, missed. Let's try that again. That's great. Didn't have to use the grapple even.
Credits awarded.
Yep, and off you go. Okay, so we've rendered safe the fuel system. This is probably a good time to go back and reload on tethers. And while we're at it, some thruster fuel.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000. Thank you for your purchase.
Tethers restored.
Alright, so our next step is to decompress safely the front half of the ship.
Airlock pressure levels dropping. Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Okay, good. Now let's find the atmosphere regulator. There we go.
Air pressure level decreasing. Airlock pressure levels dropping. Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Now it's very tempting to start taking things apart while I'm in here, but I want to make sure we're fully decompressed before I do that.
Airlock
I also
pressure
want to
levels
point out that
dropping.
during this demonstration, I don't really want to pull apart every fixture, every piece of furniture. You all know how to do that, and I don't want to take up undue time. The purpose of this video is to show how to
Airlock pressure levels
maximize
dropping.
the dismantling of the larger parts of the ship. Alright, so that all said, let's... Yeah, a little bit of decompression there.
Air pressure level
Still doable.
decreasing.
Okay, good. So now we're at the front of the ship. So let's pull this heat sink loose. Activate our torch. Okay, that's the front of the ship. Yeah, that's right. Give it a nudge. Looks like I'm upside down. That's okay, not the end of the world. Easily fixed. Okay, there's our heat sink. Let's pull that. Alright. Next step is we're going to cut this one section loose if we can.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
So activate our cutter switch to point mode. Now we've got some power cells here we're going to want to salvage. Alright, let's activate the grapple and see if we can pull this section away. Yep, there it is. And away we go. Alright, so next step is I'm going to dismantle part of the cockpit here. If I do this right, I might be able to pull away the entire cockpit in one go.
Project processed. Credits awarded.
And for now, I'm just going to pull it up to this jack here. We can always dismantle it later. Okay, not completely up there. Come on. There you go. Let's try that. That's right. That's good. Now, the reason I wanted to pull the cockpit away is that for ship sections where there are two airlocks connected, one of them usually has a breakaway plate. So we're going to make use of that right now. Okay, let's go up top here. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now, if all goes as hope, I may be able to use the force push function of my grapple gun and just push it away. Yep, just like that. So I'm going to grab that before it flies away too far and give it a push. Okay, and there's our airlock. Let's wedge that down. Good. Okay, good.
Secured. Credits deposited.
Okay. Now, next thing I want to try and do is very carefully pull these power cells away. I'm going to aim for an area that doesn't have any other parts in it, because if the power cells hit anything else in the barge, they will be destroyed, and that means that one of the items on my work order will fail. So I want to be very careful. The work order calls for 3 power cells to be removed. So we've got 2. So let's see if we can go for 3. There, nailed it.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Okay, good. Now, notice that there's one little problem. Okay, we've got a gap on this side of this ring section. If we try to pull with tethers, it's going to get hung up on the airlock. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this airlock loose, and then we're going to use demolition charges to break this ring into 2 sections. You'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. Hello, what's happening?
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Well, that's no good at all. Okay, that's gotta be the fastest recycling of a ship I have ever seen. And That wasn't supposed to happen. But you know what? I'm going to return to the Master Jack and see what that earns me. That's very odd. This is very buggy physics. Let's see what I've got. Okay, so I earned 4 million credits for doing all of that. That was not supposed to happen. All I did was cut the airlock loose, and the entire ship rolled downward and went into the barge. Yeah, the physics are a little buggy on this. But you know what? I'm going to complete... I'm going to let this recording stand for now, just to show you some of the odd things that happen during this game. Keep in mind, this game is still in early access, so I'm hoping that in time they work out these bugs. But don't worry, folks. I'm going to come back with a different ship of the same type, and we're going to do this again. So sit tight, and I'll catch you later. Eric Pearson, signing off.